Hey, my name's Kate and I am on week 30 of long COVID. Today we are talking all things compression garments, so socks, tights, shorts, and abdominal binders. Just a reminder that I am not a doctor, I am not a medical professional, I am not an expert in medical equipment or garments. I am a potato who now wears really tight pants. So, with that caveat aside, I thought I would go through the wonderful world of compression garments and what I have learned about them in the last 6 months, in the hopes that maybe this will help you in your search for the ideal compression piece. So why compression? For those who fall into the dysautonomia under the dysautonomia umbrella, whether that's through long COVID or from something like POTS, postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, or orthostatic intolerance. There's a whole category of us folks for whom gravity is hard and that without a little bit of help, our blood, rather than circulating through our body and going back to our heart and then doing the whole thing again, likes to just hang out in our legs and pool and do nothing, which makes us very dizzy and then pass out. No good. So what compression can do, especially graduated compression, so compression that's tighter at the bottom and then looser up top, can just like when you squeeze the very end of the toothpaste tube, it sort of forces the blood back up to your heart and to your head, which is where it should be. So there's different schools of thought about compression and what garment is the most effective. In my compression journey, I started out with compression socks. This first pair I have from Irish step dancing. I used it to prevent chin splints, and then lo and behold, it was exactly what I needed for my dysautonomia. This is by the brand SB, which I got on Amazon for I think about $10. And they're very much athletic socks. I like the stripe. All of my compression garments, those that are rated, are between 20 and 30 millimeters of mercury. So that is just the standard measurement for sort of that pressure, that tightness. And it's a really helpful metric that a lot of companies don't share, which is really hard when you're looking for compression garments. They'll just say, it's mild compression, medium compression, maximum compression, but you don't really know, okay, what kind of compression are we talking about? Is this sort of athletic compression? Is this sort of a compression that is going to be middle of the road, or is this going to be medical grade compression? And medical grade compression is generally, from my understanding, sort of 20 millimeters of mercury and above. There are garments that go all the way up to 60 to 70 millimeters of mercury of compression. But that the sweet spot for those with dysautonomia tends to be the 20 to 30 or the 30 to 40 range. So I got a pair off of Amazon, and I got a pair from a company called Comrad, which I really like a lot. They've definitely worn a bit better. They look a bit newer, even though they're about the same age at this point. And I like that Comrad has more of a dress sock look, so I can wear them under my suit pants, and they just look like regular socks as opposed to these, which definitely look more like athletic gear. But I found that when I went to my cardiologist, I had before I got my official diagnosis and we were just sort of operating under, we suspect that you have dysautonomia, I'd started to wear these compression socks. But when I went to my cardiologist, he said, that's a great start, but, even better would be compression tights or leggings. And if you do nothing else, wear an abdominal binder. So moving up the leg. So next are the compression tights. Compression tights are hard to find, especially compression tights that are 20 to 30 millimeters of mercury, that list what their compression is, and that don't show your underwear when you bend over. Hard to find all of those things. Most compression garments really prioritize the hosiery world. So sort of the biggest category of like waist high compression are like basically really tight pantyhose, which is wonderful if you wear a lot of skirts and dresses, but I do not. And I don't really want to wear pantyhose under all of my clothes. There's a reason that I don't wear skirts and dresses. I tend to wear a lot more sort of leggings in my day-to-day life. I love the sort of the classic SNL skit about the pro chiller leggings, where it's like, I want to, win all the races. I want to climb to the highest peak, but like, what do women really do in most of their athletic wear? I want to sit on my couch in these soft pants. I purchase most of my leggings from athletic companies, but obviously I am not performing any athletic feats in them. Some of my recommendations I got from a dear friend who does Ironman triathlons. I just want to get up and make a cup of tea without passing out, and that's okay. These pants are for you too. So my favorite compression tights that I have found so far, and this might change as I explore different options, is by a company called 2XU. 2XU. They are very clear in their descriptions of how many millimeters of mercury their compression tights are. So this pair is 15 to 20, and it's just a plain black. And then this pair is 20 to 30, and it's got a cute pattern on it, which I enjoyed for sort of jazzing it up. I can wear it with t-shirts or tunic tops. I can dress them up for work, or I can chill in these soft pants in my bed. It's good to have options. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the high-waisted option when we get to abdominal binders, but having high-waisted leggings is sort of the best of all worlds for dysautonomia, I've found. They're soft, they're comfortable. No matter what, these are hard to get on and off, especially when you're getting into that 20 to 30 millimeters of mercury compression. They're tight, they're real squeezy. I kind of wrestle them on lying down so that I don't have to stand up first thing in the morning, and make the best of it. The reason it took me so long to make this video is just I can't even fathom having to put on 6 pairs of pants. I would just need to be in bed the rest of the week having to wrestle these pants on and off. And I was like, or I could just hold them up for the camera. That would be easier. Let's do that. So I love 2XU. They are on the pricier end. A lot of these fancy athletic compression tights tend to be a bit more expensive, but I've found that there's a really good secondhand market for them on sites like Depop or Poshmark or eBay, and that I can usually get them secondhand for between $20 and $40 a pair, which absolutely worth it compared to, say, the price of a doctor's visit. So highly recommend, highly recommend, highly recommend. Other companies I've heard great things about, though they're not my particular favorites, are CEP Compression. I liked the way the tights fit in the legs, but even with their high-waisted tights, they had a drawstring up top, and I found they just didn't give me the abdominal compression I was looking for. But many people absolutely love them. They're one of the originals in the athletic compression game. Another company a lot of folks like is Skins, which is a UK-based company. I find that, a lot more folks over in the UK and Europe tend to wear them. I did not like them. In part because they're not transparent about what their compression measurements are. When I wrote to them to ask, they said, well, we don't release that because we don't want to tip off our competitors. It's like, okay, it's great, but I need that information in order to figure out if I should buy them. I bought their highest compression pair anyway, and they're see-through. They're see-through. I did get a color. I think I got a pair that was teal. So perhaps if I got just plain black, that wouldn't have been an issue. But if I'm going to drop major money on compression pants, I want them to be opaque and not show my underwear. So here in the United States, in the Northern Hemisphere, it is hot. I think we're supposed to be about 90 today, which compared to the southern part of the United States or right now on the West Coast is nothing. But it's summertime, and when you have dysautonomia, oftentimes heat will be a major trigger for your symptoms. So you need compression, but having your legs swelter in these pants in the summertime is not so fun. So what I have been doing this summer is wearing compression shorts. These are, and I can't believe I'm gonna say this, these are by Spanx. These are by Spanx, that classic compression company. They don't release their compression ratings. I did get sort of their most compressive bike shorts, but I was on a bit of a budget. I didn't want to drop a lot of money. I couldn't find secondhand 2XU or CEP or Skins shorts online, but I could find Spanx. I sort of struggled with Spanx, and I guess the entire sort of genre of compression in some ways, because I feel like as a participant in American diet culture my whole life, I've sort of constantly received this message that I should be smaller, that I should be thinner, that I should take up less space. And I found that compression for me kind of trigger some of that messaging. So I have to be really intentional with myself about reframing it as doing this for, for a diagnosed illness, where this is one non-pharmacological treatment that has been proven by peer-reviewed research that can really make a difference, that it's not about my size, but it is about making sure that my body has the tools it needs to do the things that I want to do. So while I don't feel great about compression as an industry, I find that in reframing it, it just gives me a little bit more internal spaciousness to not get quite so wrapped up in that negative messaging. So these little bike shorts, super comfortable, super stretchy. Again, they have that high-waisted, tight waistband, and I can wear them under shorts that I already have if I want to, have sort of a looser short look. If I am wearing a little sundress, these go underneath, no problem, super comfortable, love them a lot. The last piece is abdominal binders. As I said, my cardiologist basically said, if you're going to do one thing, wear an abdominal binder. That is not as easy as it sounds. My husband and I called all of the medical supply places in our area. None of them carried abdominal binders because they said insurance won't cover them. It's going to be just easier for you to order something off of Amazon. So I ordered sort of your standard like post-abdominal surgery abdominal binder off of Amazon, and I did not love it. Mostly because it didn't have any structure to really hold on to my body. Also, I have a shape. And it was basically just like a straight elastic up and down tube. So I found that it rolled down at the top, it rolled up at the bottom, it shifted around, it had Velcro, and I do not love the sound of Velcro or the feel of Velcro. It's just like, ugh. It felt weird under my clothes. It was just one of those things where it's like, I'm not gonna wear this. And it's always better to go with the option of something that you will actually do, even if it's not the ideal option versus the ideal that you will throw into your closet and never wear. So in doing some research and listening to some really helpful content from folks like Bernadette Banner and Abby Cox and Carolina Zabrowska about the history of compression garments and corsetry, I decided to acquire a boned corset that is an underbust corset. It is just for my abdomen, but it's really great at, and of course it's got laces up the back, so I can lace it to my comfort. I'm not tight lacing, just to be really clear. I went for an option that just had sort of a natural curve to the waist, rather than a really sort of dramatic indent in. This corset is by Orchard Corset. And it seems a little bit silly, I think, to be like, here, I have acquired a corset to go with my very tight pants for my dysautonomia, but this option has worked really well for me. And because it's got some light boning in it, it doesn't ride up or down, it doesn't roll over or flop around. And on days that I'm really struggling with my symptoms, I find that this plus my compression tights is absolutely the best option for me. I don't wear this every day because of the boning. It is not very comfortable to sort of lie down in, and I still spend a lot of time in bed resting. So it's just, and it's not easy to immediately get on and off. So I tend to wear this on days that I know I'm going to be out and about and walking around and moving a bit more and just need a little bit of extra support so that I'm not quite so dizzy and symptomatic. The last thing I'll say is that for compression garments, sizing can be a real issue. I find that it's best to go with companies that are really clear, not only about their compression ratings, but their sizing, offering measurements for the specific parts of your body that the garments will be covering. So for your compression tights, giving you an ankle measurement, a calf measurement, a thigh measurement, a waist measurement, because you want them to fit, you want them to compress you in the right way so that they do the job that they're supposed to do. That being said, most compression garments, especially from athletic companies, are not size inclusive. Typically, they only go up to size extra large. So one company that I would recommend, they do not rate their millimeters of mercury. They don't give sort of like, this is medical grade compression. It's really more athletic compression than anything else. But for those who are larger than a size extra large, Fabletics, their power sculpt fabric goes up to a size 4X. Is much more size inclusive. It's their maximum level of compression for fabric. And a lot of folks I've talked to who wear those sizes have found it to be a really effective option, given that some of the athletic compression does not go up to the size that they wear. Some of the compression hosiery does come in plus sizes, so that could be another good option. So that is it. That is the wonderful world of compression for dysautonomia, or at least a quick overview of some different categories. The moral of the story is do what works best for you. Follow the advice of your doctor, but a lot of it's sort of playing around and figuring out, how are your symptoms in this garment versus the other one. Again, for me, the full leg tights with the additional abdominal compression of a high waist is the best option for me for everyday wear. And of course, I have the short option for really hot days. I hope this was helpful. If you have any compression garment tips, please include them in the comments. It would be great to hear what's worked well for you. I would encourage you to go ahead and subscribe for future videos, to like this video if you found it helpful. 1 in 5 people who have had COVID will likely get long COVID. So if you don't have long COVID directly, you likely love someone who does or who will. So I'll continue to sort of share my story and create content as we walk this weird journey together. So from my COVID journey to yours, take good care, everybody.